गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರವೇ ನಮಃ. ಇದು ಆನ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಸೊ ಇದು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಟ್ರಾನ್ಸ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದರೆ ದೆನ್ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡ್. Check that translation, exercise that was given. Okay, from Sanskrit to English. In the English to Sanskrit. Sanskrit to English we have done over. So in the 9th page, in that third chapter, 9th page. Okay, do it.
You to steal, chorayatha.
ಬೋರ್ಡೇ ಕಂಡು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಷ್ಟೇ. Okay.
You shall I state?
Read.
You to steal, chorayatha. They to give pain, peedayatha. We to tell, kathayavah.
Correct.
You to count, ganayatha. They to see, pashyatah. We to arrange, rachayavah. You to desire, sprihayatah. They to proclaim, ghoshayatah. We to contemplate, chintayavah.
Correct.
We to publish, prathayatah. They to please, prinayatah.
They to
prinayatah.
Prinayatah.
We to censure, nindava.
Correct.
You too are angry, kupyatha. They too flow, krishatah.
Correct.
We too adore, pujyavah.
Pujayavah. 10th gana, dashama gana. Pujayavah. Puja, you are making a 4th conjugation. 4th gana alla. It is not 4th gana, it is a 10th conjugation. Pujayavah.
Pujayavah. You too ramble, atatha. They too are agitated, kshubyatah. We too glean, unchavah.
Correct.
They too extol, varnayatah. We too embrace, slishyavah. You too prate, jalpyatha.
Pyala, it is jalpa, is a prathama gana. Yala, because ya is a 4th conjugation. It is a prathama gana. Jalpa. So jalpa, you too jalpatha.
They too appease, Santvayatah.
Okay.
We too praise, shamsavah.
Correct.
You too speak, vadatah. They too become bhavatah. You too cook, pachatah. We too understand, bodhavah.
Correct.
They too eat, attah.
Tha. They too is attah. Correct.
We too are satisfied, tushyavah. You too covet, lubhyatah.
Correct.
They too wallow, lupyatah. We too touch, sprishavah. You too ask, prichatah.
Correct. So in these 3 chapters we have learnt ekavachana, bahuvachana, dvivachana, and we have learnt some dhatus from each gana, each of the 4 ganas. 1st gana, 4th gana, 6th gana and 10th gana. From these 4 ganas, each of the 4 gana, a few dhatus, important commonly used dhatus we have learnt. Their gana pratyaya we have learnt, and the rule which applies to those each dhatus. There are only 2. 4th and 6th ganas do not have any other rule. Only 1st gana and 2nd gana has got a certain rule, that is their gunadesha. In the 10th gana, both vruddhi as well as gunadesha. certain other changes, what you call the exceptionals are there, and some kind of special adeshas are there. That also we have learned part of them. Okay, Panini doesn't call any exception or anything. He makes them rule, even that is a rule. Exception is also a rule according to Panini. But anyway, if we don't go into so much of technical details, this much is enough. Now in the 4th chapter, we are learning a few more dhatus of 1st gana, 4th gana and 10th gana. That's all. So as for the grammar, nothing new. As for the grammar, nothing new, because these ganas are already learnt. So only extra vocabulary, few more dhatus are given. And in the translation practice, the speciality of this chapter is that all the three are combined. Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Bahuvachana. Earlier we have learnt, first chapter only Ekavachana we concentrated so that we learn them thoroughly. Second chapter only plural forms concentrated. Third chapter we concentrated on Dvivachana. Now Ekavachana, Dvivachana, Trivachana all put together. When they combine them, people get confused. But anyway, those who have done the previous chapters, good practice, it comes easy anyway. So this is a few dhatus we have to give, and nothing much. In fact, I think the lesson will be closed in today's lesson within 5 to 10 minutes. Only next is only a practice, translation practice that you have to do. So my stating is nothing, because my stating comes to an end. Once you, anyway, I'll teach now these rules, these new dhatus. Afterwards, he is giving some practice of what you call the grammar rules which we have studied, occurred occasionally, all of them put together in one place. He is reminding, so that just reviewing the rules which you have learnt before in these 4 chapters. He is just reviewing. Probably we will review them so that we also will have a little practice of it. Okay, first in the 4th chapter, Prathamagana, some more dhatus of Prathamagana. First is Kshi, Kshaye. Kshi and Kshi is same thing. But the meaning, see, concentrate on the meanings also. Kshi, Kshaya, to waste away. Kshayisuvadu, Kshayavaguvadu. Kshaya ಅಂದರೆ ಕಡೆ
ಟೈಮ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದು ಅಂದರೆ
ಟೈಮ್
ಸಮಯ ಕ್ಷಯವಾಗ್ತದೆ.
ಸಮಯವೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ಎನಿ ವಸ್ತು ನೀರು ಕ್ಷಯವಾಗ್ತದೆ, ವಸ್ತು ಕ್ಷಯವಾಗ್ತದೆ, ವಯಸ್ಸು ಕ್ಷಯ, ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಷಯ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ವೇಸ್ಟ್ ಅವೇ. Waste away doesn't mean going waste. It is getting exhausted. Getting exhausted. The vastu, whatever we have the money we are getting exhausted. Money getting exhausted. If you have got a property or something, anything, any object which you are using, as you use it, it is getting exhausted. It is getting used up. That is called wasting away. Wasting is not our way that we are not using anything and leaving it waste, not unused. It's not that way. Getting exhausted here. Not leaving it unused. Not in that sense. Getting exhausted. So waste away. So Kshi Kshayati. Kshayavaguvadu. Idu Prathamagana. Since it is a Prathamagana, it takes the Gunadesha. Kshi becomes Kshay, like ni, ne. And then Kshay becomes Kshaya because that of vowel. No, vowel, that Ayadi Sandhi. A, O, I, Au, followed by vowel, change to Aya, Ava, Aya, Ava. So Kshay becomes Kshay. The same form, the changed form is put in the bracket, circular bracket, Kshi, Kshaya. Should I write it? Kshi is a short. This is Kshi. This changes to Kshay, which again changes to Kshay. A is the Gana Pratyaya. Ti, Kshayati.
Kshayataha, Kshayanti. Kshayasi, Kshayathaha, Kshayatha. Kshayami, Kshayavaha, Kshayamaha.
ಕ್ಷೀಣವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ ಇದೆಯಾ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ? ಕ್ಷೀಣನೇ ಕ್ಷಯ. ಕ್ಷೀಣವಾಗುವುದು ಅಂದರೆ whatever was it gets exhausted. When it gets used up, consumed up. A thing is anything, what you call a grains or a rice or something you kept to them, as you keep using it, it gets exhausted. It gets exhausted that way, as consumed up. Similarly, ಕ್ಷಯವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಕ್ಷೀಣವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. Kshaya is a TB in those days, they were calling it. Because that Kshaya Roga, that exhausts the person. Kshinavaguttade. Kshi. Then I think Kshaya.
Akshaya is
Akshaya same, not Kshaya.
not Kshaya. Then festival Akshaya-tritiya.
Akshaya means which doesn't get exhausted, inexhaustible. Kshaya is exhaustible. Akshaya, not exhaustible. Akshaya, not means I think on that day probably you buy a property that remains inexhaustible. That won't be spent away. Probably Akshaya. Akshaya Tritiya. That is a little technical. Literal word meaning is inexhaustible. That doesn't come to an end. So unending. But that Akshaya Tritiya is a technical, because the festival, what is that? Then the meaning of that festival, the name and all that, we have to read the book. And I don't remember. It's all Grihasthas festivals. Grihasthas things, we have to specially study them. That's not our topic. Because we concentrate more on Vedanta. So for the Grihasthas, so those who have studied, those who have remained Grihasthas before, they know much better. And we have to specially study. The next is Dhru. Dhru Dhatu, Dhru Gatau. Dhru, just like Bhu Bhavati. Dhru becomes, Dhru is a short Dhru. Dhru becomes Dhro. Bu becomes Bo, because Gunadesha. U changes to O. Then because of the vowel following A, Dhro changes to O becomes Av. Like Bhu becomes Bhav. Similarly, Dhro becomes Drav. So meaning is, he says, Drav is, he gives to water to be wet. Watering means melting it up. Drava means, watering means, I don't know that old English watering they call it. Watering means it is melting. He uses the word mouth waters. Mouth waters means, that is an Indian expression. Mouth waters means when you see something sweet or something, your mouth waters. That means water comes, mouth becomes, or thing becomes wet. Or melts also, drava. We call drava padartha. It melts, becomes liquid, something like that, dravati. This can be physical dravati, that is like ice melts. That is himam dravati. Himam dravati, athava mouth waters. Or in psychologically also, hrudayam dravati. Hrudaya means your heart melts with some love and compassion. Heart melts with compassion. So it can be psychological meaning as well as a physical meaning. Dhru dravati. Drava padartha like dravati.
Dravati dravataha dravanti. Dravasi dravataha dravatha. Dravami dravavaha dravama.
Sometimes drava he uses in the sense of wet, to be wet. It is wet. Dravati means it is wet. So what is wet? I think context we have to say. I am unable to explain. Okay. Next is Ruha. Ruha. Ruha bija janmani pradurbhave cha Paninis. Paninis name Ruha bija janmani pradurbhave cha. Ruha is again like Buddha becomes Bodha. This is Prathama Gana. Other than the Ruha changes to Roha. Ruha. This changes to Guna. It takes Guna. Roha. Okay. Then A plus T. Rohati. E Roha. Meaning, you see what he says? To grow. To grow means a plant grows. A person grows. And also Ankura agvadu, to germinate. A seed grows into a seedling, that is germinates. A seed germinates. What do you call them there? Molake can heltare. I forgot. Sprouts. It sprouts. Yes. The sprouts also comes here. To grow or to sprout. That is that. To grow or to sprout. Ade germinate I have used. To sprout. Okay. This ruha. Ankura is a different word in Indian languages. This is used ruha if you add upasarga. Rohati, arohati. Arohana, avarohana. So rohati, you climbing up. Avarohana. Ava. A is going up. Ava is coming down. Ava, the very ava means down in Sanskrit. Ava is down. Avatara. Avaroha. So ava is down. Anyway, next chapter, beginning now after this, probably today only we will cover. Some of the upasargas we can cover today. So the upasargas, he teaches upasarga meaning of the prefixes. So ava. So arohati, avarohati. Innondu, from the roha, rudhi comes. Roha, rudhi. And I think roha, rudha, arudha. ಆರೂಢನಾಗಿದ್ದಾನೆ. ಆರೂಢ ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಕ್ಲೈಂಬ್ಡ್. ಆರೂಢ. ಈ ರುಹದಿಂದ ರೋಢ ಕಮ್ಸ್. ರುಹದಿಂದ ರೂಢ, ರೋಢ, ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಆರೂಢ. ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ಟು ಅಸ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್. ಸೊ ರೋಹತಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡು. ಟು ಗ್ರೋ, ಟು ಸ್ಪ್ರೌಟ್ ಆರ್ ಟು ಜರ್ಮಿನೇಟ್. ಟು ಸ್ಪ್ರೌಟ್. ರೋಹತಿ, ಟು ಗ್ರೋ.
ರೋಹಸಿ, ರೋಹತಃ, ರೋಹಥ, ರೋಹಾಮಿ, ರೋಹಾವಹ,
ರೋಹಾಮಃ. ಓಕೆ. Next is stha, tishta. Stha is the root, but stha is not used in the present tense. Stha is used in the future tense and nouns. Therefore, it has got a substitute. Stha gati nivruttau, Panini meaning. Panini's Dhatupata says stha gati nivruttau. See, the meaning of the verbs as even the simplest, smallest word has to be explained, should be defined. Stha means to stay, to stand, to stand or to stay. For this, you see how Panini gives in a simple, smallest word. Gati is movement. So, you remove the movement. You stop the movement. That is called stha. Gati nivruttau. Gati nivrutti. Gati nivruttau. See how he defines a smallest word in this thing. Stha gati nivruttau. When the gati nivartate, the movement stops. That is called stha. It's just to stand. Standing means two meanings. One who is sitting, he gets up. And another is standing is one who is in a movement, whatever stage he is, just remaining in that state. It is called standing. So, okay. Stha gati nivruttau. For this, adesha is there. Stha, adesha comes. Tishtha. Tishtha is a adesha. Adesha means a special substitute. Stha takes the tishtha in present tense. Present and certain tenses. But future and certain tenses, stha will be used. In nouns, this will be used like this. Stha becomes a tishtha. So, tishtha, add the a plus ti. It is a prathama guna. Tishtati. A person, tishtati, you add the upasarga, uttishtati. Like that. Uttishtati, like tishtha. Stha changes to tishtha. Tishtati, tishtataha, tishthanti.
Tishtasi, tishtataha, tishtatha.
Tishtami.
Tishtami, tishtavaha.
Tishtamaha. Tishta, uttishta. So to stand. To stand means in whatever position you are, just remain there alone. Standing. Uttishta. Ika stha also. Sthanam. Sthiti. The stha becomes a sti and ti and from the stha dhatu, sthanam, sthiti, and then ut upasarga when you add, sa changes to ta. Ut upasarga. See, ut upasarga when you add, here, this sa changes to another tha. Then add the anam, Utthanam. Utthana patana. Utthanam means rising. So, see, Uttishtati ide. Uttishtati ide. Or RSS fellows say Uttishta. They call say. Some words are correct. There they are using correctly. Uttishta means they are addressing single person alone. Uttishta is not Bahuvachana. Uttishta, Uttishtatam, Uttishtata. If you are addressing many people, Uttishtata, you have to say. But Uttishta, simply they say. Even in that also in Valmiki Ramayana, Rama goes with Vishwamitra. First night when he sleeps, morning, Vishwamitra says one shloka. And that this first shloka is used in Venkateshwara Suprabhatam beginning, they use that. Then Uttishta. Uttishtottishta Govinda, Uttishta Garudadvaja, Uttishta Kamalakanta, Trailokyam Mangalankaru. Uttishta, get up. In Kathopanishad also, Uttishta they say. Uttishtata Jagrata, that is a Kathopanishad Vakya. Uttishta, Tishta ki Uttupasarga when you add, Uttishta, get up. That is it, Uttishta. So Uttishta word is familiar to us. It is a purely Sanskrit word. We are not, the word is not used in Indian languages, but the word itself is picked up as a borrowed word, something like a quotation. Like a quotation we use directly, Uttishta, come on, get up, like this. Uttishta. Like that. That is a Kathopanishad. And then Uttishta, this shloka. Uttishta Kamalakanta, Kausalya Suprajarama, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Vishwamitra says, oh Supraja, that Supraja will tell you. Supraja andre a good child. Supraja, a good child. Kausalya Suprajarama. Oh Rama, oh good child. Supraja andre a good child means a good boy, a good son. A good son of Kausalya Suprajarama, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Here the Sandhya is a feminine gender. Purva Sandhya it becomes. Purva Sandhya Pravartate. See, the Purva Sandhya means the morning is dawning, is coming, arriving. Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Kausalya Suprajarama, Purva Sandhya Pravartate. Uttishta Narashardula. Narashardula is again Sambodhana Vibhakti. Uttishta, oh Narashardula. Shardula means a tiger. Narashardula means a tiger among the human beings. A tiger among the human beings. In those days, such were the expressions. Narashardula. Uttishta Narashardula. Come on, get up. What is that? No, Kausalya Suprajarama, Purva Sandhya Pravartate, Uttishta Narashardula, Kartavyam Daivamahannikam. Trailokyam Mangalankaru is next shloka. So Uttishta Narashardula, Kartavyam Daivam Ahannikam. Ahannikam andre Ahan andre a day. Ahoratri we call it. In Ahoratri, that Aho Shabda comes from Ahan. Ahan means day. Madhyana, Ahan Rupa is there. Saptanna illa Saptaha. The Ahan changes to Aha. Saptaha. Like Aha Shabda, Ahan comes from Ahan. Therefore, Ahannikam. Ahannaki Ahannikam. Ahannikam ante pertains to the day. Pertaining to the day means Ahannikam karma. The karma that is to be done in the day is called Ahannikam. Ahan is a day, Ahannikam is related to day. So Kartavyam Daivam Ahannikam. The Ahannikam karma pertaining to the day should be done. Kartavyam has to be done. See, Kartavyam, we don't know the grammar, but the meaning we know in Indian languages. Kartavyam karna chahiye, it should be done. What should be done is called Kartavyam. Kartavyam madabekagide, it needs to be done. Daivam Ahannikam. Daivam andre related to Devatas. Ahannikam means a daily activity pertaining to Devatas. Kartavyam needs to be done, should be done. Anyway, now we are in the beginning alone. As we proceed, I can slow the shlokas and split them, how to understand the word and then see the meanings and all that. Anyway, as we proceed, we will get it. So, Kartavyam Daivam Ahannikam. So, that shloka says, it is in Valmiki says, Valmiki writes it, and it is he says it through the mouth of Vishwamitra. First night he lives in Ayodhya, because right from childhood he lived in Ayodhya with parents alone. This is the first time he is leaving parents and going away from parents. Therefore, Vishwamitra has to see. The children slept, so he wakes them up. So here you see Valmiki, how he uses. First thing is, first night that he is waking up. He is leaving his parents. Now the Vishwamitra is a guru and is like a father now, is a mother now. He himself has to. Therefore, Kausalya Prajarama. Oh, see, that means you are such a good son of a Kausalya. So I am playing that role as a mother and father. Now he is doing this thing. Now he is lovingly wakes him up morning, because the children tend to sleep. Now he is just waking up. That means the parents have to wake up early in the morning at the right time. So how Valmiki implies many things. And then also he tells Rama, you have to wake up to do your Sandhya Vandana. Daivam Annikam. Annikam means the daily activity, Nitya Karma pertaining to Devatas. That is Sandhya Vandana. So Daivam Annikam Karma you have to do. So you wake up. So here parents, they show the parents' care and love for their children, and gurus also. And is waking for what? For doing your Sandhya Vandana. Time is coming up. Wake up and take bath and do your Sandhya Vandana. So now and then Vishwamitra reminds him regarding Sandhya Vandana. This shows during the what you call march of the story, as the story is advancing, moving, during the movement of the story, it occasionally reminds Sandhya Vandana. Instead of directly telling, oh, Rama has done it, that means we are supposed to do. A hero, whatever hero does it, people start doing it. So this is the Vedic culture taught not as an instruction, not as an ajna, not as a what you call order, but by putting a model. Rama and etc., Dasharatha, certain good models in the heroes of the story. They follow certain thing. He repeatedly mentions it. Oh, as evening comes, now Sandhya Vandana is doing. How Valmiki says, number of times that Sandhya Vandana time comes, Lakshmana, Rama, do Sandhya Vandana, do Sandhya Vandana. How many times that shows that we should not skip them. We are supposed to do them regularly. So, how Kavya teaches the Vedic thing without hurting you, indirectly touches, awakens you and remember you. So, Valmiki implies many things in one shloka. In one event, many things. Probably some shlokas we will see of Ramayana also. We will see grammar as well as this culture aspect. Sanskrit as well as culture. We should see that together. Some portions, if not complete Ramayana, at least I have got some abridged Ramayanas. Abridged Ramayana, it gives you the basic story, around 3,000, 4,000 shlokas. We'll get complete Ramayana, we'll get it. So we'll get some good language. Valmiki's language is beautiful. And you can see how he implies many ideas. Different levels he implies. Spiritual level, worldly level, dharmic level. That vision of Valmiki is Valmiki alone. There is nobody like him.
That is why you are doing Upanyasa of Bhagavatam. You said Veda itself is the avatar of Ramayana.
Yes, Veda. See, Veda prachetasad asit sakshad Ramayana atmana. So when Veda Vedye pare pumsi jate dasharathatmaje, that Veda Vedya Paramatma, he is born, he took incarnation as Ramachandra. Then what happened to Veda? Veda, which has described Paramatma, which has revealed Paramatma, that Paramatma who is revealed by the Veda has incarnated as a Ramachandra. Then what happened to Veda? Veda itself gets reincarnated as Ramayana. There is one shloka says that Veda pracheta sad asid sakshad Ramayanatmana. See, each shloka says such a beautiful. The language and the ideas, how beautiful, noble ideas. Prachetas is a rishi. Valmiki himself mentions that I am a 10th generation of Prachetasa rishi. He is a Prachetasa gotra. I am a Prachetasa rishi's 10th generation I am. Dashamoham Prachetasaha. Therefore Prachetasat. From Prachetasa, this Veda has come back. Veda has reincarnated, reappeared through the Valmiki, Sakshad Ramayanatmana, directly as a Ramayana, it is reincarnated. Therefore, Veda also gets incarnation. That means the same Vedic ideas, Vedic message, Vedic inspiration, Vedic teaching, Vedic, all that comes in a simple language, in a different language, in a different style of exposition. They say that we have to tell later. Veda directly orders. You must do that, that's all. Kavya doesn't order. Kavya doesn't order. Kavya puts a hero and heroine and such people. It describes how in various contexts they responded, they behaved. They felt. their feelings, their thoughts, their behavior in various contexts, how do they behave. And that behavior they explain in such a way that indirectly they are touching your heart. They move your heart. As you read the story, as you listen, as you watch a drama, you will be identifying with that hero and heroes. So what they have done, unconsciously they come into your heart, you start feel like doing it. Therefore, without asking you directly to do, it makes you to do all those good activities, good behavior, good acts you will learn to do. So that is called kavyam, kanta sammitataya. That I will tell you all that later. Now I can't do in the beginning, we are in the very beginning of Sanskrit, just like alphabet stage alone. We have to go a long way. After finishing few chapters, when I will cover some of the shlokas, then this kind of explanations will come. We will not discuss now. Just I give you as an example only. We will explain all those things. So each shloka, a few shlokas if we take and explain like this, then language becomes very familiar and fluent. Then any shloka becomes easy. A few shlokas if you study, maybe 300, 400 shlokas or 500 shlokas from the various context, then the vocabulary and sentence structure, grammar, all that becomes familiar. Then any new shloka you can instantly recognize how to split the word and how to connect them, how to make sense. There is a certain knack, there is a certain way, because Sanskrit has its own style. That we will get it anyway. So this is Uttishta. So Uttishta is here. Stha is the dhatu, Tishta is the substitute. So you have to remember together. Stha, Tishta, to stand. We have to remember like this one line. Stha, Tishta, to stand. All these three. Okay. Tishtanti. Like that. Okay. The next is Hve, Hvaya. Hve. He is the dhatu. This is also Prathama Gana dhatu. Hve is, this is Ha. Sanyuktaksharaಗಳು common to Sanskrit. Sanskrit is full of that giant consonants, conjoint consonants. Hve, this. So in the stomach, you put here, like what is that, kangaroo. Hey, looks like a kangaroo to me. Isn't it? If you have only, you remove it. Hva alone looks like a kangaroo and the baby in the stomach. Hva. So, hva. Hve is here, guna desha is not possible. Already a is there, guna. So here, when the gana pratyaya is comes, like ne becomes naya, be becomes aya desha, hve becomes hvaye, hvaye ati. So hve ati, hvayati. Shall I say that? Hva. Hvayati. Okay. Hve, hvaya. Okay, hve is the dhatu. Hvayati. A takes I, that sandhi. Ayadi sandhi. Hve becomes hvaye. A plus the hvayati. Idakki, the word directly is not familiar in Indian language, but slightly modified. You add the upasarga, ahvayati, ahvanam. Ahvanam is there. So this is hvayati, to call. Ahvanam, see, in Sanskrit it means simply calling. Ahvayati means a simple calling alone. But in Indian languages, when we use Sanskrit words, we use more polite and honorable, for such expressions, noble feelings, we use Sanskrit words. For common, you want to just call somebody, you just say simply Karayivadu, calling. But in Sanskrit, when you want to formally calling or respectfully calling, Ahvanam we call. But in Sanskrit, Ahvanam is simple calling. See, same Sanskrit words, when we use in Indian languages, we use more respectable way, more in a see, Uttishta means is a more respectable way. Simple, Nitko means that is a common word. See, this is what I found in Telugu, where you want to say informally or something in a what you call a condescending manner. That means a servant or a younger person, not very respectfully, just a simple order. Then you use normal words. When you do it more politely and honor, with all respect, you use Sanskrit words. That's how I found in Telugu literature. Because Sanskrit word means we feel it is a more respectable form. So ahvayati means calling. Ahvayati, he calls. He calls, she calls, it calls. So hvayati, hvayataha, hvayanti. Ahvayati, ahvayataha, ahvayanti. Ahvanam. Like that. So
Vayataha, Vayasi, Vayataha, Vayata, Vayami, Vayavaha, Vayamaha.
correct. Also you can add and repeat again.
Ahvayati, Ahvayataha, Ahvayanti. Ahvayasi, Ahvayataha, Ahvayatha. Ahvayami, Ahvayavaha, Ahvayamaha.
Ahvanam. Anam is added to it. Ahvanam. So that is Ahvanam means invitation. Invitation is a little more formal and respectable. Respectfully you do it. Simple calling in Sanskrit Ahvanam. If you call a boy, you say Ahvayati. Balam Ahvayati. Ahvayati means he calls a boy like that. Athava Sevakam Ahvayati. Ahvayati means simple calls. Okay. Then fourth gana. Mada Madhyati. Mada has got a special, special means one A. It becomes long, that's all. It's a special rule again. We call special rule here, but Panini calls them another rule only because we have not gone to that. As I told you, Panini structure becomes more complicated. Complicated, it becomes a full-fledged mathematics alone, like another science alone. I think we don't know. If you are interested, we'll study Panini grammar separately. But while learning the language, we don't want to complicate the language. Mad becomes Mad. Therefore, he puts them in special bracket. Mad. Okay, it is a fourth gana. So what will be the gana pratyaya? Yeah. So it has no other rule. Guna and other such adesha is not there. Mad becomes Mad. Madayati? What is that? Madayati yake?
Yeah.
Fourth gana ಹೇಳಿದಾಗ Madayati ಏನದು?
Yeah plus fourth gana.
ಹೌದಪ್ಪ. If you what happens? So daya it becomes?
No, dya.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
Okay.
Why do you make it 10th conjugation? ನೀವು ದಶಮಗಣ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮಾದ್ಯತಿ. ಮೊದಲು ಮೀನಿಂಗ್ ನೋಡು. ಮದ ಮಾದ್ಯತಿ. ಮದ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನದು ಇನ್ ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಮದ ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಅದು ಇದೆ. ಅಹಂಕಾರ ಮದಮತ್ತ ಮತ್ತ ಉನ್ಮತ್ತ ಆಲ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್. ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಕಮ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಟು ಬಿ ಮ್ಯಾಡ್, ಟು ಎರ್. ಮ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದಟ್ ಮದ ಬಂದ ಆನೆ ಹಾಗೆ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಮದ. ದೆನ್ and then mad, that's why the elephant goes mad. We say it has gone mad means ಮದ ಹೆಚ್ಚಾಯಿತು. Elephant in rut, like that. So mada means to be mad. Second thing is to make a mistake also. So madhyati mada madhyati is understood if you use a upasarga to it. In Indian languages, pra seris bidu, you add the pra. Pramadhyati, pramada comes from it. So pramada means making a mistake, error. Oh, pramada ho gaya hai. Pramada means pramadena uktam. They say, oh, by mistake I said it. When you want to say, anyway, in future it will come. Then you send something. Why did you do that? Pramadena krutam. Oh, by mistake I said it. Pramada means accident. I don't know what you call pramada. In Telugu, pramada means an accident. ನೀವು ಅಪಘಾತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಿ. Kannadigas call apagata, but in Telugu, pramada means accident. Then in Tamil, I think pramada, romba pramada, means it is a highly, what you call, great, highly great. I think, I don't know, probably it could be pramoda. Pramoda means romba pramoda, great joy. At the great joy, probably a pramoda might be corrupted, became pramada, romba pramada agide. So probably pramoda, they changed it into pramada, romba pramada, they say. Romba pramada means, but that pramada Tamil is different. That's what I'm telling you. Certain words, when they come to Indian languages, the word has changed. So pramada means a mistake, an error, something happened, pramada. So pramada, pramadhyati, pramatta, unmatta, unmadhyati, pramatta, unmatta, like this. Pramadhyati, Mada is there. All these words are there. Okay, so Madhyati, Madhyataha.
Madhyati, Madhyataha, Madhyanti, Madhyasi, Madhyathaha, Madhyatha, Madhyami, Madhyavaha, Madhyamaha.
Madhyati, he goes mad. To be mad andre he is mad. Madhyati means he is mad. Andre Madhyati means he is erring. He is erring. Madhyataha, they to err. Madhyanti, they many err. Aham Madhyami, I err, I make a mistake. Err means to make a mistake. Oh, I make mistake. Madhyami, Pramadhyami, like that. So meaning also and form also. Two you have to remember. Next one, Shama, Shamya. Shama becomes a Shama. So Sham. See these three roots, Mada, Shama, Shrama. There is only thing is this becomes a long, that's all. Vruddhi. Sham becomes a Sham. It because there is no rule. Fourth conjugation has no rule. Therefore, we are calling it as an exceptional rule, or it is a substitute, special substitute we are calling. Special substitute means a rule alone. Sha becomes a Sham. Okay. Sham, this is a fourth conjugation, Shamya. Ti, Shamyati. The meaning is, you see, to be calm, to become calm, to cool or to tranquil. Andre Shantavaguvad, Samadhanavaguvad. Shama becomes Shanti. Shamanam, Upashama. Shama, Upashama. Kannadalli. Upashama comes from this alone. Shama, Upashama, Shanti, Upashanti, all this comes. So Shamyati, Upashaman hota hai, Shant ho jata hai. Shantavagi biduವುದು. ಅದರಿಂದ ಶಾಂತವಾಗುವುದು ಅಂದರೆ ಟು ಬಿಕಮ್ ಕಾಮ್, ಕೂಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ವಿಲ್. ಕಾಮ್ ಆಗುವುದು, ಕೂಲ್ ಆಗುವುದು, ಶಾಂತ ಆಗುವುದು. ಮನಸ್ಸು ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ವಿಲ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಮನಸ್ಸು ಎಜಿಟೇಟೆಡ್ಗೆ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಂಕ್ವಿಲ್. ಮೈಂಡ್ ವಾಸ್ ಎಜಿಟೇಟೆಡ್, ಕ್ಷುಬ್ಧಂ, ಅದನ್ನು ಶಾಂತಂ. ಕ್ಷುಬ್ಧಂ ಶಾಂತಂ ಭವತಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ಷುಬ್ಧ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಶಾಂತ. ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್. ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿಗೆ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಓಕೆ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಮೈಂಡ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ಡ್ ಮೈಂಡು. ವಿಕ್ಷುಪ್ತಂ ಮನಃ, ಎಜಿಟೇಟೆಡ್ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ವಿಕ್ಷುಪ್ತ ಮನಃ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಕ್ರೋಧ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಕೋಪ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಪ್ಯತಿ ಹೇಳಿದಾರಲ್ಲ, ಕುಪ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಜಿಟೇಟೆಡ್, ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಅದು ಕ್ಷೋಭಕ್ಕೆ, ಇದು ಉಪಶಮ, ಶಾಂತ, ಶಾಂತಿ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಅಪೋಸಿಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ ಅಥವಾ ಕುಪ್ಯತಿಗೆ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಕುಪ್ಯತಿ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಗ್ರಿ, ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ ಈಸ್ ಕೂಲ್ ಡೌನ್. ಕೂಲ್ ಡೌನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಕೋಪ. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಕೋಪಕ್ಕೆ ಶಾಂತವಾಯಿತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕೋಪ ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಶಾಂತವಾಯಿತು. ಸೊ ಓಕೆ. ಸೊ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ,
ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಶಾಮ್ಯತಃ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಂತಿ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಸಿ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಥಃ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಥಾ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಾಮಿ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಾಮವಃ, ಶಾಮ್ಯಾಮಃ,
ಶಾಮ್ಯಾವಃ. ಶಮ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಶಾಮ್. ಅದೊಂದೇ ದಿಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಶಮ. Shama is used in noun forms like Shama, Upashama. Like again, the ma changes to na when the ti comes. Shanti, Upashanti, like that.
Upashanti.
Shantaha Purushaha. Manushya Shantanagiddan. Adella. Upashamana ಆಯಿತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ. ಕಾಮ್, ಪೀಸ್ಫುಲ್, ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ಡ್. ಉಪಶಾಂತ ಕೆನ್ ಮೀನ್ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ಡ್. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕೋಪ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. Disturbed ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಸಮುದ್ರಂ ವಿಕ್ಷಿಪ್ತಂ ಅಭೂತ್, ಶಾಂತಃ. ವೆನ್ ಸಮುದ್ರ ವೇವ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ಡ್, ನವ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಶಾಂತ. ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಶಾಂತ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಂತ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಕೋಪವು ಶಮನವಾಗುವುದು, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಮನವಾಗುವುದು. ಈ ಶಮನ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಯೂಸ್ಡ್ ಬೋತ್ ಇನ್ ಎ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೈಕಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್, ಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಸೆನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಕಾಂಟೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ದಮ್. ಸೊ ಶಮನಂ, ಶಾಂತಃ, ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ಚಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ತಂಪಾಗು. ತಂಪಾಗುವಂಥ ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅದೇ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಿ. ಚಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ತಂಪು, ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು, ಕೋಪನ್ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು ಇಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಮನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಲ್. ಮನಸ್ಸು ಶಾಂತವಾಗುತ್ತದೆ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಚಲ್ಲವಾಗ್ತದೆ, ಕೋಪ ಶಾಂತವಾಗ್ತದೆ. ಮೂರಕ್ಕೆ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡಿಂದು, ಕೋಪನ್ ಚಲ್ಲಬಡಿಂದು. ಚಲ್ಲಾರು ವೀಸೆ, ಚಲ್ಲಾರು, ಚಲ್ಲಬಡು. ಆರಿಸು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಕೋಪ ಆರಿಸುವಂಥದ್ದಿದೆಯಾ? ಪ್ರಯೋಗ ಇಲ್ಲ, ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ಓಕೆ. ಎನಿವೆ ಈಚ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಸ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕೋಪ ಶಾಂತವಾಗುವುದು. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಂತ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕೋಪ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್. ಇನ್ನೊಂದೇನೆಂದರೆ ಜಠರಾಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಹಸಿವು ಆಯಿತಲ್ಲ, ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಶಾಂತವಾಯಿತು. ಹಾಗೆ ಹಿಂಗಿದ ನಂತರ ಕ್ಷುಧಾ ಶಾಂತ, ಕ್ಷುಧಾ ನಿವೃತ್ತಿ, ಕ್ಷುಧಾ ಶಮನಂ. ಕ್ಷುಧ ಶಮನಂ ಅಂದರೆ ಕ್ಷುಧ ಈಸ್ ಅನ್ ಅಗ್ನಿ. ಸಿ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಷುಧ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಅಗ್ನಿ. ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಊಟ ಮಾಡಿದ ನಂತರ ಅದನ್ನು ಕ್ಷುಧಾ ಶಾಂತಿ ಅಭೂತ್. ಕ್ಷುಧಾ ಶಾಂತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಗ್ನಿಗೆ ಜಠರಾಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಂತ ಅಭೂತ್. ಮೊದಲು ಜಠರಾಗ್ನಿ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲಿತೋ ಭವತಿ. ಅಶಿತೆ ಸತಿ, ಅಶಿತಂ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಕ್ಷಿತೆ ಸತಿ ಶಾಂತ ಭವತಿ. ಜಠರಾಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಂತೋ ಭವತಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಅದರಿಂದ ಜಠರಾಗ್ನಿ ಪ್ರಜ್ವಲಿತೋ ಭವತಿ, ದಹತಿ. ಅದು ದಹತಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಸಿ ಅಗ್ನಿ ದಹತಿ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ದಹತಿಗೆ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕುಪ್ಯತಿಗೆ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿಗೆ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಮೂರು ಕಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಕ್ಷುಭ್ಯತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಎಜಿಟೇಟೆಡ್, ಅದು ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ದಹತಿ ಅಗ್ನಿ, ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಅಗ್ನಿ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕೋಪ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಮನುಷ್ಯ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ, ಕ್ಷುಬ್ಧ ಶಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಮೂರರಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಓಕೆ. ದೆನ್ ಶ್ರಮ. ಶ್ರಮ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಹೇಳ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಶ್ರಮ, ಆ ಶ್ರಮನೇ ಶ್ರಮ. ಶ್ರಮ ಅಂದರೆ ಟು ಬಿ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇನ್ಡ್ ಅಂದರ್ಥ. ಶ್ರಮ, ಶ್ರಮ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಟು ಶ್ರಾಮ್, ದೀರ್ಘ. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಫೋರ್ತ್ ಕಾಂಜುಗೇಷನ್. ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಶ್ರಾಮ್ಯತಿ. ಶ್ರಾಮ್ಯತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹಿ ಇಸ್ ಟಯರ್ಡ್. ವಿ ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಯು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಇಟ್, ವಿಶ್ರಾಮ. ಶ್ರಮ, ಶ್ರಮ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರೇನ್. ವಿಶ್ರಾಮ like that. Shanti, Vishranti, Vishranti we call in Telugu. I don't know, you have it. Shrama, Vishrama, Vishramaha, Vishranti, Vishranti alla ide. So the same thing. Vishram karta hai in Hindi also. Vishram karna. Shram karna, Shrama labor class we call it. Shrama under tiring. Tiring, what you call, you tiring means you toiling. Tiring elvakanta toiling. Toiling is Shrama. Shramyati, he is toiling. Vishramyati, he is resting. Shramyati, Vishramyati. I think he is calling to be weary and ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. I think ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಕೇಳಿದರೆ toiling is better. Shramyati is toiling. Vishramyati, resting. I think that meaning is better. To take pain, to be tired. To toil. Toil is there in English? You understood toiling? Toiling means to take trouble. Toiling. So, Shramyati is toiling. Vishramyati, resting. Resting. Take rest, resting. So, Shramyati, Vishramyati. Say that one. Shramyati.
Shramyati, Vishramyati.
Say form.
Shramyati, Shramyataha, Shramyanti. Shramyasi, Shramyathaha, Shramyatha. Shramyami, Shramyavaha, Shramyamaha.
Correct. So, Shramyati, he is toiling, is working hard, is training himself. That's why he is using to be weary, to take pain. That is the thing. Okay. To be tired, both. To take pain, to tired, to take what you call toil, all that expressions according to context. Okay. So Vishramyati is opposite, that you can imagine and guess. I think most of the meanings we don't have to remember. They are there somewhere in Indian language. A few are new. You have to memorize them. Like a kusyati and like what is that? A few things, spurati and unchati, like that jalpati. A few words you have to remember. Most of the words are similar in India. Tudati, these are all new, totally new, purely from Sanskrit. Means they are not in use in common Sanskrit. Of course, in Granthika, Telugu and Kannada, they use them. Granthika Panditas now. Even our Kannada Panditas know them. They may not know Sanskrit, but these words used in them. Tuda. Okay, you got Dashamagana, few more things. Dashamagana Kshal. Kshal again, that takes the Vruddhi. Kshal becomes a kshala. You ಹೇಳಿದಿರಲ್ಲ, final takes a vruddhi substitute, or penultimate a takes long. Kshal becomes a kshala. Kshala meaning you see them to wash off, to make it clean. To wash off or clean it. Okay, kshala. I think I'm spending a lot of time in these meanings alone. Okay. ಇಟ್ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಇದೆ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ರಾಮ, ಐ ಥಾಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಉಳಿಯುತ್ತದೆ ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡೆ. ಟೈಮ್ ಇದೆ ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಓಕೆ ಓಕೆ. ಕ್ಷಲ, ಕ್ಷಲ, ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸೇ ಇದು 10th ಕಾಂಜುಗೇಷನ್. ದೇರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಅಯತಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ. ಬಿಫೋರ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್ ದ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಕ್ಷಾಲನಂ, ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ. ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನ, ಪಾದ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್. ಹಸ್ತ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ, ಪಾದ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ, ಈವನ್ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ದೇ ಸೇ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ ಧಾವತಿ ದೇ ಸೇ. ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಧಾವನಂ, ದಂತ ಧಾವನಂ, ದಂತ ಧಾವನಂ, ಹಸ್ತ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಧಾವತಿ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲರ್ನ್ಡ್ 2 verbs. One is ದಂತಂ ಧಾವಯತಿ, ಪಾತ್ರಕ್ಕೆ ಎರಡು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪಾತ್ರಂ ಧಾವತಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ ವಸ್ತ್ರ ಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ, ಹಸ್ತ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ, ಪಾದ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳನಂ, ದಟ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದ ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ, ಉಪಸರ್ಗ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಪ್ರಕ್ಷಾಳಯತಿ, ಓಕೆ. ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ,
ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಃ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಂತಿ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಸಿ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಥಃ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಥಾ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಾಮಿ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಾವಃ, ಕ್ಷಾಲಯಾಮಃ.
ಸೊ ಟು ಕ್ಲೀನಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್. ಕ್ಷಾಲಯತಿ. ಓಕೆ. ರಜಕಃ, ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ದೆಮ್ ದ ವಾಷರ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್. ರಜಕಃ ವಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ ಕ್ಷಾಳಯತಿ ಅಥವಾ ವಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ ಧಾವತಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ವಸ್ತ್ರಾಣಿ ಧಾವತಿ, ಧೂತವಸ್ತ್ರಂ, ದಂತಧಾವನಂ ವಿಸೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ತದ್, ತಡಪ್ಪ, ತಡ. Tad becomes tada. Tad becomes tada because 10th conjugation, dashamagana. So the penultimate a becomes long. Tada. ಈ ತಾಡ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವೆದರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಇನ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜಸ್. ಇಲ್ಲ. ತಾಡನಂ ಪಡೆಯುವುದು, ತಾಡನಂ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ಲಿ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ವರ್ಡ್. ನಮಗೇನೋ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಕೇಳಿ ನಮಗೆ ಇದು ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿತ್ತು, ಇದೇ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. ತೆಲುಗಿನಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ತೆಲುಗು ಇಲ್ಲ, ಹಿಂದಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಪೀಠನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ತಾಡನ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ದಂಡ ತಾಡನಂ, ಕೋಲಿನಿಂದ ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು. ದಂಡ ಇಸ್ ಕೋಲು, ದಂಡ ತಾಡನಂ. ದಂಡ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ತೆಲುಗು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಪೋಯಮ್ಸ್, ಪೊಯೆಟಿಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಷನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಇಟ್, ದಂಡ ತಾಡನಂ. ದಂಡ ತಾಡನಂ ದೇಶೆ. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ವೇ ಐ ಲರ್ನ್ಟ್ ಇಟ್. ದಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಬಬ್ಲಿ ದಟ್ಸ್ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ಟು ಮಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಗ್ರಾಂಥಿಕ ತೆಲುಗು ದೇ ಯೂಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪೋಯಮ್ಸ್ ದಂಡೇನ ತಾಡನಂ, ದಂಡ ತಾಡನಂ ಅದು. ಸೊ ತಾಡಯತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಹೊಡೆಯುವುದು, ಟು ಬೀಟಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ.
ತಾಡಯತಿ, ತಾಡಯತಃ, ತಾಡಯಂತಿ, ತಾಡಯಸಿ, ತಾಡಯಥಃ, ತಾಡಯಥಾ, ತಾಡಯಾಮಿ, ತಾಡಯಾವಃ, ತಾಡಯಾಮಿ.
ಈಗ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಫೆಮಿಲಿಯರ್ ಟು ಯು, ದೆನ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೆಮರೈಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಮೆಮರೈಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ನೋಡು, ತುಲ. Tula becomes like Buddha Bodha. Tula becomes Tola. Should I write it? I think it's already known. It's very, very easy. So Tul, Tola, Guna, and 10th Guna. Adarinda Aya. Tola, Tolayati. Tolayati ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ? What you call weighing. ನೀವು ತಕ್ಕಡದಲ್ಲಿ weighing ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ತೋಲನಂ, ತುಲನೆ ಮಾಡು. ತುಲನ, ತೋಲನಂ ಎರಡೂ ಇದೆ. ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಲಯತಿ ಇದೆ, ತೋಲಯತಿ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ತುಲಯತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಕಂಪೇರಿಂಗ್, ತೋಲಯತಿ ಅಂದರೆ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್. ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಇನ್ ದಟ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ದಟ್? ತಕ್ಕಡ ವಿ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಟ್. ದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್. ಇನ್ ದ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಟು ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಕಾಲ್ ಪ್ಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಯು ಪುಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೇಯ್ ದೆಮ್. ಸೊ ದ ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ತೋಲಯತಿ. Tulayati means the tul becomes tol, but yet this tulla form also is there in Sanskrit. Tulayati, tolayati, both are there. Tulayati is comparing. Tulna, tulana we call it. Tolanam, bharottolanam. Tolanam means weighing. Uttolanam.
In Kannada, tulane is used for both to weigh and to compare.
I think, they mix it up. I think in Sanskrit slightly different. Tulayati, tolayati slightly different. They got mixed up. Okay, it doesn't matter. So tulayati, tolayati. Tolayati is weighing. Okay, say tolayati.
Tolayati, tolayatah, tolayanti, tolayasi, tolayatha, tolayatha, tolayami, tolayavah, tolayama.
Okay, then last word is bhusha. Bhusha is to alankarisu, to adorn, beautify, adorn. ADORN, that old English adorning. Does anybody use these days?
Rarely.
Beautify. Bhusha, 10th conjugation. So bhushayati, because penultimate is a long vowel, so no guna to explain. Bhushayati, bhushayatah,
bhushayati, bhushayatah, bhushayanti, bhushayasi, bhushayatah, bhushayatha, bhushayami, bhushayavah, bhushayamah.
ಅದೇನು? ಹಾರಾನ ಚಂದ್ರೋಜ್ವಲ. ಅದು ಒಂದು ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಇದೆ, ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಶ್ಲೋಕ. ಅದು ಭರ್ತೃಹರಿ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಅಲ್ಲ ಒಂದು. ಹಾರಾನ ಚಂದ್ರೋಜ್ವಲ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲೂಸಿಂಗ್ ಟಚ್. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಫರ್ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್. ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಐ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ it was very, very much in my memory. Somehow I forgot it. Keyurana vibhushayanti purusham. Keyura means some kind of an ornament. Na vibhushayanti purusham. They don't beautify a person. Keyura na vibhushayanti purusham. Hara na chandrojvala. Haravagali, chandrojvala, they are names of ornaments. Chandrojvalanu manushyanu beautify madalla. It doesn't beautify a person. Na hara na chandrojvala. Na snanam na vilepanam. Vilepanam is all cosmetic apply. Na snanam na vilepanam. I forgot it. Keyura na vibhushayanti purusham. Hara na chandrojvala. Na snanam na vilepanam na kusumam. Nalankruta murdhaja. Not even the alankruta murdhaja. Not even decorated hair also doesn't beautify a person. Nalankruta murdhaja. The shloka I forgot it. Then Bhartrhari Smriti shlokas we will study someday. They are beautiful. So only what beautifies is only the vak alone. Ya Sanskrita dharyate. Andre what is based upon Sanskriti, cultured or a Sanskrita. It is a double meaning. The speech which is spoken in Sanskrit language or which is infused with Sanskriti, a cultured speech, that alone beautifies a person. Na snanam na vilepanam na kusumam na lankruta murdhaja. Vanyeka samalankaroti purusham. Vanyeka, only Vani. Samalankaroti purusham. Ya samskrita dharyate. Vanyeka samalankaroti purusham. Ya samskrita dharyate. Third line I forgot it. Only 2-3 lines I remember. This is the last line. So anyway, bhushayati. Keyura na vibhushayanti purusham. Bhushayati vibhushayati. Aitapa. So we learned the vocabulary. Now next is we have got a long 25 Sanskrit sentences to be translated into English. Another 25 English sentences into Sanskrit. This he mixes up. So far whatever we have learned the verbs, all verbs put together. So the next chapter he begins with nouns now. Nouns and verbs together, then we can form the sentences. That will become more interesting now. Now the next chapter onwards, the Sanskrit changes now. It looks more interesting now. Now so far only verbs, or it looked boring that only verbs we are learning. But next chapter onwards, we learn nouns and verbs together. Then we form sentences, small sentences. It looks very interesting and also we can learn now. So the next chapter we will learn. So you practice this one. We'll check the translation and some rules, etc. We review them if necessary. And certain upasargas he covers them. What is upasarga? He gives just an idea. And then we'll start with 5th chapter next. Okay. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Tat Sat.
Someone has written a comment. Shall I read? I wonder if Kusti wrestling is related to Kusyati. Anyhow, I use it as an aid to remember.
I think Kusti is not an Indian word probably. I have to refer.
Kusti is related to Kusyati.
No, but no, Kusti is embracing. It is not related. It's not a fighting or grappling and all that is not there. Simple Kusyati is embracing alone. So Kusti, I think Kusti pakadna, we learnt it in Telangana people in that Urdu only. Kusti to Urdu word. We never use in Telugu. Kusti is probably Indian word also we have to see. I'll check and tell you.